Warning: the opinions expressed in this video do not represent YouTube, associations, agencies, or any particular individuals. They are merely from two guys needing to pass the boredom of their average day lives. Some explicit content may occur in this or future presentations. Viewer discretion may be advised, but ignored if you're into that thing. Hey everybody, I'm Wild Man Wes.
And I'm the Big Bad Wolf Benny.
And welcome to another edition of the Wild Wolf Show. Well, we're gonna do another personal favorite, kind of like with Flash Gordon. We've mentioned this one time after time after time. Add a couple more times in there.
And you got it.
We're gonna do the 1986 originator of some good sword movies, Highlander.
The first one's the only one I really
Yeah. We kind of shade away from the quickening, and then after
the series, the movies after.
I mean, the TV series wasn't bad. It
wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
Anticlimactic.
So anyway, we're just gonna stick with the only one that we actually consider to be good.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to see us maybe review the quickening and the final dimension and the end game or whatever it is,
it gets weird, guys.
Yeah, if you want to be gluttons of punishment, making us gluttons of punishment, leave a request in the comment section below if you want to see it. If not, we totally understand.
I mean, the first movie, all the stuff that happens in it's unbelievable, but it's not so unbelievable that you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean,
and then after they're like aliens from another planet.
We may save that for another day if you really want to see it.
It gets weird.
Yep. All right, since Benny here did the plot for the last episode, I think I might as well just start
Let him take over.
All right, so the story takes place in New York City, and we start off at Madison Square Garden with a wrestling match, and you see our first character, Connor McLeod, played by Christopher Lambert. We've mentioned him before as Raiden in Mortal Kombat, so
he's awesome.
Off to a good start. And you realize he's going into a parking lot, and you find out that he's immortal, that he's part of a clan of people that can't die.
There's a race of immortals on the planet, and you find out there's so many of them. And then you find out there's a quickening coming, which has nothing to do with the second movie. That's just what the power's called after every immortal's killed and one's left, which is kind of the catchphrase of the movie. If you guys saw our trailer for this, there can be only one. That's what they mean.
Yeah. So throughout the movie, we're just going to skim this one because after a lot of our episodes, we've realized we go about 30, 40, 50. We went an hour once, so it's like, we're going to save you the time and the frustration of why the hell these guys are just running their mouths all day long. So anyways, there's another Highlander or another immortal that's looking for Connor. It goes back and forth trying to kill each other. Throughout this whole movie, you see flashback sequences after flashback sequences of how Connor became.
Pretty much, you get to see him through the centuries, how he's adapted to the power, how he's you find out at the current time he's an antique dealer. Those are all his old stuff. Pretty much is what he's selling.
Yeah.
So this is how he makes all his money.
Mm-hmm. And while this is going on, after he's being questioned by police about a murder in the parking lot, that he committed it, but he's trying to play it off as coy and
Yeah, mind you too. We forgot to tell you, the only way to kill an immortal is you gotta cut his head off. So that's what all the sword play is for.
Yeah. And while this is going on, there's a forensic specialist in New York named Brenda who's intrigued with Connor's his life, wondering what's going on and why is he so mysterious? And throughout that whole time, they banter back and forth, and eventually, pretty much, they have a love scene. So, other than that, the other immortal Kurgan, otherwise he's also named Victor Kruger, which is... I'll get into that later when we talk about what we like and what we don't like, because I've got a little conspiracy theory throughout the whole thing.
If you don't know what a Kurgan is, it's a people that lived in ancient Russia, where they would amuse themselves by throwing children and hungry dogs in a pit and throw food in there and see who got it.
Yep.
So,
and for all you wrestling fans, a Kurgan is also a member of the 1997-1998 group The Oddities that was managed by Jackal and the Insane Clown Posse. So the more you know. So anyways, as the Kurgan's been chasing after Connor, they go back and forth, and eventually Connor accepts the fact that there can be only one and cuts off the Kurgan's head. He is the last one standing. He knows everything. He sees everything.
He is everything. He basically became God.
Yeah, and at the end of the movie, he and Brenda live happily ever after. Or so we think.
That's when they gave us three more crappy sequels that just had nothing to do with the
original.
original.
And a mediocre TV series at best. And do not get me started on that cartoon series. That one, why would you have a rated R movie turned into a regular,
where every fight ends with somebody getting their head cut off? How do you do that for kids?
I don't know. I mean, like Mortal Kombat. I mean,
semantics. Yeah, this is what we're talking about.
The only cartoon series that actually wasn't bad based off of a rated R, if not unrated, movie was Toxic Crusaders. I'm a huge fan of Troma.
Oh God!
We put some Troma movies into our Shocktoberfest.
We're gonna do a Troma too. After Shocktoberfest, we'll get into Troma movies.
Please let me pick Terror Firmer or Poultrygeist. I love those two.
But anyway, guys, so that's pretty much the whole movie. We could have gave you like the whole story, but it's just faster this way. An immortal, he's got to fight another immortal. So the whole time you see immortals fighting other immortals, they become stronger every time they kill one. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, there's some good story in there, but like I said, we're just going to give you the basic of it because we want you to go watch the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like a couple of our reviews, we kind of ruined the whole movie.
Yeah, we've been long-winded, and we apologize for that. We really do.
So now we're just going to jump right into why we like it and why we don't.
Yeah, the top fives, I mean, we'll do that from time to time. It just depends on...
It's just hard to find 5 and 5, especially if it's a good movie like this, because then we just got to nitpick. So
yeah, and I'm getting...
We'll just make it a little simpler and just be like, oh, this is why we like the movie, this is why, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So why don't we just start off what we don't like? I mean,
I think our biggest thing is the whole Sean Connery as a Egyptian Spaniard.
Well,
go ahead and explain how you explain it.
His name is
Juan Sanchez
Villalobos Ramirez. Yeah, say that 5 times fast, right? Yeah. So anyways, it has a little situation of, I mean, 80s whitewashing in a way, because it's like the guy's supposed to be his Spanish name. He says he's Egyptian, has a Scottish accent. It makes my mind just kind of...
Welcome to movie magic.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they had Sean Connery have a full-on tan, it's just...
It was weird.
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm so used to him being James Bond, and all of a sudden yeah.
Yeah, and his sword he carried was from Japan, so I mean, he's just been all over the place. So.
Well, I mean, but that also goes into the storyline.
It does, again.
His third wife?
It was just
something like
Akiko.
That. Yeah, and her father made the sword. It was only one of a kind.
Just like his daughter.
Yep, exactly.
But anyway, guys, like I said, it's just, again...
That was a nitpick throwaway. It really was.
There's not too much we don't like about this movie. I mean...
Yeah, I mean...
besides this...
There is one thing that I really didn't care for, in a sense. I mean, we always talk about montage overload.
Yeah.
And the flashback sequences, I like them because of the fact that it explains Connor's legacy of how he became, who he became, and the sacrifices he had to make. I mean, he lost his wife Heather, and when she died, she was saying, why have you been with me all this time? He's like, because I love you, and I mean, and then he realizes that he's not the only one that's had to deal with that when Ramirez tells him about his great love from Japan. So I mean, you get a good idea about it. However, the thing that bothers me about it is most of those flashbacks. I mean, over the first half of the movie is nothing but flashbacks. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the flashbacks. It's just that maybe they could have made the first Highlander just a movie. Yeah, all those flashbacks. The flashbacks could have been a movie themselves.
Maybe it ends where the movie started. That's how they could have done it. That could have been Highlander 2 right there.
And the quickening would have never existed. And I think the series would have landed in a better spot.
We'll get on the phone with Christopher Lambert, see if he likes it. We'll get him back on the project.
Yeah, I'm sure we can't get a hold of Sean Connery. He's out of the business.
But anyway, guys, I think my biggest nitpick was before there was the last immortal being Connor. They couldn't have kids. That didn't make sense to me. And then it did, because it's like, all right, well, you don't want more immortals. But after he gets the power of the quickening and he basically becomes a god, he does tell Brendan, he's like, I can have children now. It's just like, wouldn't you just be creating more Immortals and then this thing just starts all over again?
Well, not just that, but I mean, if you think about, and I'll admit I didn't care for that bit either, but
so,
if you wanted to have kids back then, wouldn't you just kill everybody once? Like back in the 1500s? I mean, come on. I mean, it makes perfect sense. I mean, that's perfect logic.
That's how he gets Heather, his daughter. He finds her in Germany.
Oh, you mean Rachel?
Rachel, yeah, my bad.
I couldn't remember her name earlier, and then he reminded me.
So, yes, he finds this little Jewish girl, Rachel, during the Holocaust, and saves her from the Nazis. Mm-hmm. And, it's cool. So that was his daughter growing up. She you could tell that they love each other because, he's been there, and she knows his secret, so he can talk to her about it. So that was kind of cool way to give him a child, but at the same time, it's just like, well, it's like I said, it just boggles my mind. He can't do it when he's not God, he's just immortal, but when he's God, he can do it. And then, like I said, wouldn't that just start to cycle all over again, another quickening?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's just my point, God.
Yeah, I mean, with
Rabble.
Yeah, I mean, with these things we like and what we don't like, it's more of a retrospect. I mean, we were doing the top fives, but I think a retrospect is a little bit better for us.
Guys, when I'm at home sleeping, if I can't sleep, I'm just thinking in my bed, and this is what I think about. I'm like, why? Why couldn't they do this then, and now they can do it? I don't understand.
Oh, trust me, I've been there too.
So that's what I do with my sleepless nights.
And I mean, some of the other things I wanted to nitpick on was, I mean, there's a lot of humor in this movie. I'm going to talk about the bad humor in this one. And it's decapitation puns or jokes. Don't lose your head, or I hope you get your head cut off. Like the landlord, Victor Kruger, which... I don't understand it, but I mean, it's 80s humor, tongue-in-cheek, I guess.
So anyway, I mean, like I said, we don't have a lot of bad things. I don't really have any more bad things to talk about, so I'm ready to jump into the good things.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, guys, again, we're just gonna start off with the basic thing we said in Flash Gordon: the music.
Oh yeah, Queen, amazing.
So again, this made this movie even more epic. There's like 3 big songs that everybody knows from this. It's Princes of the Universe,
Who Wants to Live Forever,
and then the Kurgan song, Give Me the Prize.
Yeah. Interesting tidbit of information on this. Originally, Queen was only going to have their track Princes of the Universe within the movie. And then when they saw a little bit more of the film or the footage and heard a little bit more of the music done by Michael Camden, who, by the way, did the music for The Iron Giant, which we did last time.
I love how all the movies we do after somehow have a connection to the one before. Yeah. We don't even plan that.
And
it just happens.
Like the whole band loved what they saw and loved what they heard, that they wanted to add more music.
If you guys ever watch the music videos for these, the best ones, the Princes of the Universe, they actually have Christopher Lambert up there sort of sword fighting with Freddie Mercury using his mic stand.
Yeah,
it's great.
I dig it.
So I mean, it's great. I mean, just the music alone. I mean, honestly, all the settings, everything was so visually good. Most of it was done in the dark, which I kind of like. So then when you do see the lights come through, it picks the right spots to put the hero in. Then you got the villain in the dark. So it's that whole good versus light. That whole battle.
Yeah, a lot of times in thriller action films, they tend to do a lot of backlighting where, everything's in the shadow up in front of the camera, but they front lit a lot of this stuff. I mean, with the Kurgan, they backlit somewhat, but actually, to tell you the truth, I think they did more side lighting where it was kind of, half the face was lit and half the side was dark, which I thought was kind of cool.
Anyway, so all that stuff was good. I mean, I like the choreography for the sword fights.
Yeah.
You can tell they took a lot of time into it. Sword fighting is a little bit different than like normal fist fighting because all you really have to worry about is the swords. I mean, you do throw a kick and a punch and stuff there, but you can see actually, and every fighter had their own fighting style. The Kurgan, big dude, he was like, 6'5", something like that. He's really supposed to be that tall anyway.
Yeah.
So he's a big, powerful guy, and he was, they said in the beginning of the movie, he's the most powerful of them all. So that's how he fights. He fights physically. He doesn't try to fight smart. He uses his brute strength. And then you have somewhere like Connor, who's, smaller, but a skilled warrior, and he outthinks them. He's thinking 2-3 moves ahead, and that's how he ultimately defeats them.
Yeah, because in the early battle, right when Connor gets stabbed, and
before Connor even knew he was immortal.
Yeah, he fights.
He charged in there.
Yeah, he fights more with a broadsword, and basically, it's
Kurgan wasn't having it.
Yeah, he was more of kind of like the Scottish warrior with a broadsword or a claymore.
You just go in there swinging. It's a big sword. It's going to hit something.
Yeah, and then the sword that he has later on, obviously,
he gets a katana.
So he fights more. I wouldn't say samurai because samurais normally fight one-handed. He was
fighting too. So it was a combination of his Scottish heritage, mixed in with what he learned from Ramirez.
Yeah, from like the Eastern culture.
So basically, he kind of was a mash of like a couple different styles, which worked, because then he could fight people with the same style and match them move for move, and he knew the weaknesses of the style and the strengths of the style.
And I think that also goes into play, like every time one of the Immortals, kills their opponent, I would dare say that I think they do take their powers.
They do take their powers, because, I mean, you remember when he kills...
their skills.
When he kills Fazi in the beginning, he's kind of, he was more of like a fencer, just with his sword, and then I mean, they don't really show it, but you do see him absorb the power, like all the electrical things in the area go off, like car alarms and stuff, as he's drawing the power in. So it's quite possible he did maybe get their memories, their skills. You don't know; they never really explained it. So that was cool.
What I love, I mean, the opening, apart from Princes of the Universe, during the 80s, wrestling was huge. I mean, especially World Wrestling Federation, WWE. I mean, hey, I understand the whole lawsuit. I don't appreciate it. I don't accept it. World Wildlife Fund, shame on you.
But keep doing what you're doing.
Oh yeah, shame on you for that lawsuit. But apart from that, what you're doing for the world,
good.
Keep it up. But however, I digress. I love the wrestling match at the beginning because...
we had the Fabulous Freebirds.
Fabulous Freebirds versus the Tonga Kid. Jumpin' Jim Bronzell from the Killer Bees. And Greg Gagne.
So that's just
son
a great
of legend
matchup.
Vern Gagne. So,
that's a great matchup to have. It's a tag team triple threat style. So
I found out also, originally it wasn't supposed to be a wrestling match. It was supposed to be a hockey game, because they wanted to depict the violence of the fighting on the ice. However, NHL nixed the whole idea. However, if you watch that opening sequence, there is somebody in the crowd with a hockey mask on, so I think they were filming that scene before. Which kind of...
Wrestling fans wear crazy stuff, so it's possible.
Oh yeah, I know that for sure.
So anyway, it was just cool though, too, in the beginning scene, like you were saying, is as the wrestling match is going on, every time you hear a thud, kind of like has a flashback of him on the battlefield. So it's like, this is the new battlefield, pretty much, is what they're trying to say. So I did like that, Then you got the annoying guy. Just take his head off.
We've all had to deal with that person at a stadium or an arena.
So yeah.
I mean, another thing that I liked. I mean, I said the bad humor with the decapitation jokes, but I mean, the humor in general, I liked. I mean, Christopher Lambert was. I mean, his laugh. His laugh. How do you not like his laugh?
What kept you?
He does that little...
Yeah.
It's great. Christopher Lambert.
He does it so many times in that movie.
We salute you. You're one of our favorites.
The one thing I do love about the humor in that was in the... pretty much, I would say the French Revolution, where he's in the duel,
and he's drunk as hell,
and the guy keeps stabbing him, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
And he's got the whole powdered wig in front of him. He can't see. And finally, the guy
that'd be something I'd do if I was immortal. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. So it's a little tidbit. He keeps getting stabbed, which if he was sober, he'd take this guy, but. So finally, his manservant's like, shoot him in the back of the head. The guy gets so pissed off and shoots his servant. It's great.
Shoots him right in the ass.
So, anyway, guys, this is what we love about this movie. Is just those little tidbits like that. Just because if you were immortal, you're gonna kind of have those back moments because, ooh, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Now he does still feel pain though.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you get stabbed, you heal right up. No, he gets stabbed. He does bleed. It does heal. It's more of like a Wolverine-like healing factor. So he does feel pain.
Or Deadpool.
Or Deadpool. There you go. Wolverine, Deadpool, whatever you say.
Yeah, it's Marvel to us.
So anyway, he does feel pain. So it's not like, oh no, it doesn't hurt. He does feel it. So he does try not to get hurt, but I mean, he knows what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So, other than that, time for a little conspiracy theory.
Ooh.
I love this part right here.
Ooh. Go off.
So while I was watching Highlander, last night, I happened to notice a couple things. And, some people, when they think conspiracy theories, they can just, write them down over a lengthy period of time. Me, with some of my conspiracy theories, I can, get these little nuggets of information in like almost a nanosecond. Some people think I have way too much time on my hands. No, I just watch too many movies. That's all it is. So I'm just going to go through this whole thing. Okay, so Christopher Lambert played Connor McLeod in Highlander. He also was Raiden in Mortal Kombat. Clancy Brown, playing the Kurgan, voiced Raiden on Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm.
Wow.
His name is Victor Krueger, also known like Freddy Krueger. So, wait. Clancy Brown was also in the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street as one of the parents of the kids. I know. So, which in turn, Yaphet Kotto was in Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, who was also in a James Bond film. Sean Connery played James Bond.
Wow!
I know, man.
All right, I'm done with my Keanu Reeves moments.
I'm just trying, because I thought of a couple other things too, which is just...
so we have way too much time on our hands, obviously.
No, we just watch a lot of movies.
Same thing.
But I'm going to keep it at that, just to,
But anyway, guys,
interesting stuff right there.
If you have any more film conspiracy theories that you'd like us to go in-depth research, leave us a comment below.
Mm-hmm.
We'll figure something out, even if it doesn't make sense. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we will. But other than that, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Like, share, subscribe. Like Benny said, if there's any movies you'd like us to do a review on in the future, apart from Shocktoberfest coming up here, leave a request in the comments section.
All I want to say is, like I said, leave us, if you want us to do a movie for Shocktoberfest, leave it down there. If you want us to do it after Shocktoberfest, that's fine. Don't give us a horror movie if you don't want it in Shocktoberfest, because we're not going to do any horror movies because we have Shocktoberfest coming up.
Yeah.
So, it's fine if you want to save it for after Shocktoberfest. We'll do a much more in-depth episode on it. So, make sure you're clear in the comments what you want, because otherwise, we're just going to take it as you want us to do it in Shocktoberfest.
Yeah. So, other than that, I'm Wildman Wes.
And I'm the Big Bad Wolf Benny.
And we'll see you next time on The Wild Wolf Show.
Bye, guys.
Here we are, born to be kings. We're the princes of the universe. Here we belong, fighting to survive.
Benny. Ben, come on, wake up. Benny, we're supposed to be doing this episode, remember?
10 more minutes.
Seriously, man. Every time we do this, man, you have me come over here when we do this show, and you're sleeping. Seriously, you know what? I didn't think I'd have to do this, but you left me no choice.
I mean, now's good. Let's go now.
All right, well, you get ready, and I'll meet you outside. I'm getting too old for this